let's go to the next topic. The next topic is the origin of Shinjin. Explain the idea that faith in Amida is not the creation of our minds.
Okay, so
that's a very important doctrine that many people nowadays misunderstand or find it an obstacle. But actually, it's very simple, as Kosho Sensei will explain.
Yes. Okay. So first of all, we will explain it through a very simple way, and then we will use more passages. Okay.
Yes.
So a very simple way to understand this teaching is if you go to the fascicle 7 of our introductory book, Amida Dharma. So let's go there, and we will read it because it's actually only 3 pages long, but it's very clear. Then Joshua Sensei gives us very useful analogies. Okay. So let's go to fascicle 7. Fascicle 7 would be page 41. Yes, you go to Amida Dharma, page 41. The answer to the call of Buddha Amida, and Amida Buddha. Yes, so I will read. No, I will give you the first analogy. This is the analogy of the sun and the window. He says, like the sun who sends its rays everywhere, Amida is calling all beings to entrust to him. Nevertheless, some people close the windows of their minds and hearts, while others keep them open. But even if you open your window, the rays of light belong to the sun and not to yourself. It is the same with faith. Yes? So what does this mean? Yes, if you truly ask yourself, and this is not like a mystical question, please get rid of this. It's very simple. Why can't we say the name of Amida Buddha? Yes? What is the true source of our faith, if not Amida Buddha himself? You see, so Amida Buddha himself is the cause but is the reason why we can say the Nembutsu. So we say the Nembutsu because there is a Buddha that is calling us from afar, calling us from the Pure Land. Yes, we have faith in a real Buddha, and this is a consequence of the existence of this Buddha. Okay, so naturally, if we have faith, it is because of Amida, not because of ourselves. The same way that you open a window, you know, then the sun comes. So the fact that you are opening the window, yes, doesn't create the light of the sun. It only creates the precondition for the light to enter, but the light does not belong to the house. It does not belong to you. It doesn't belong to the window. It belongs to the sun. It comes from outside. Okay, so even if we are doing all of these things like listening to Amida Dharma, saying the Nembutsu and all of this, actually what we're doing is to create the conditions for the light to manifest, but it's not the creator of the light. Yes, be careful with this. Okay, so I will keep reading. It says, it is because of Amida that one entrusts to Amida. Yes, so this is not like a Zen koan. Sometimes people they read this like okay, so faith is me or Amida. No, it's Amida. Yes, it's very simple. Yes, it is because of Amida that you trust in Amida Buddha. Yes, okay. The echo of Amida's call in one's heart, which is faith, is due to the power of the one who calls. Yes, if all the Buddhas in the universe and Amida Buddha hadn't created his primal vow, and he didn't have such great power to call us and to draw us out of samsara, you know, then we wouldn't be able to say the Nembutsu. Yes, and we wouldn't be able to have faith. You see, if faith was the creation of our samsaric minds, then it would be impermanent. You see, I am a very unstable person normally on my spiritual life. I used to belong to many religions, sometimes Catholic, sometimes esoteric stuff, you know, like Madame Blavatsky kind of BS. Then I don't know, Hinduism, then other stuff. You know, I changed religions many times in my life. You see, and now when I have faith in Amida Buddha, I've always continued with the faith in Amida Buddha throughout the first moment that I entrust myself to Amida Buddha. Okay, this is because of Amida Buddha himself. This is not because of me. You see, so I have heard this experience also by Uncle Joshin, but also by other Jodo Shinshu practitioners who marvel at the fact that they are stable in their trust in Amida Buddha, and they keep wanting to go to the Pure Land. They keep saying the Nembutsu throughout all of the trials and difficulties of life. You see, this is not because of our power. Yes, this is not because we make ourselves believe in Amida Buddha. It's because Amida Buddha is like seducing us, you know, like a beautiful woman, you know, she's trying to seduce us. Okay, a beautiful woman appears before our eyes, and we are naturally drawn to this woman, not because we want to, we don't have anything else to do, but because of the woman, the woman's beauty, yes, and the art of seduction. So we are naturally drawn to her. So in a way, the woman is the guilty one, you know, for our wanting to look at her. You see, the same way for
Always the women fault, not us,
yes,
not
yes,
ours.
yes.
In this case, it's the fault of Amida.
Yes, in this case, it's the fault of Amida Buddha. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, Joshua Sensei, and I really love this analogy because I love sweets. You know, I'm a fat guy myself. You know, so I also like to eat cake. You know, so if you are constantly saying the Nembutsu, so many people could say, okay, so why are you keep saying the Nembutsu? What is the mystery with the Nembutsu? Say? So Joshua Sensei said, okay, I am blaming Amida Buddha. Amida Buddha is the guilty one. Yes, because the Nembutsu is so sweet that I cannot stop saying it. Yes, it's like a cake, a delicious cake. You know, if there is a great cook, a great pastry maker, you know, and you cannot stop eating, it's not because of you, but it's because of the person who created such a delightful cake. You see, so it's also like this. Okay, so Amida Buddha is the one who is actually seducing us and trying to attract us to him, like a great magnet of a spiritual power. He's constantly trying to draw us near him. Okay, not through violence, but through his own power, through his own compassion, his wisdom. So we feel this. Yes, it's like a natural attraction that we feel for him. So naturally, this faith that we have in Amida Buddha cannot come from us, but is the result of the working of Amida Buddha. It's as simple as that, you see? So I will keep giving you more analogies that Joshua Sensei gives, you see? So some people become open to this call of Amida Buddha, while others don't. Your openness depends on how karmically mature you are in relation to this call, which is why our school, in our school of Jodo Shinshu, we are asked to listen again and again to Amida Dharma until we finally become open to it. One day, when we are open enough, we'll finally entrust ourselves to Amida Buddha. But this apparition of faith comes from Amida, just like the light which shines in a room after we open the window comes from the rays sent by the sun, you see? So we are only trying to open the windows of our minds, trying to give Amida Buddha the chance that he's real, that the primal vow is real. And then when we do that, you see, it's like being close to a fire, yes? You are close to a fire enough, and then you will get warm, yes? You are not getting warm because of your own power, but because the power of the fire, you see? So you are there, and if you stay long enough, then you will get warm, yes? And as Renio said, keep listening to Dharma, keep listening to Jodo Shinshu, keep listening to the message of the primal vow. And eventually, by the grace and by the great compassion, says Renio, you will be given Shinjin. The same way that if you stay close enough to a fire, then eventually you will feel warm. Or you feel warmer and warmer, the closer and closer you stay and the longer and longer you stay. It's because of the power of the one who is emitting the light, you see? So opening the window does not create the light, yes? Okay, so reading about Amida Buddha and trying to perform the Nembutsu and all of that does not create faith. It only creates the precondition to open the window of our hearts so that the light that is outside of our samsaric minds comes and captures us, okay? So faith and Shinjin and Nembutsu are the echoes manifested in us of the powerful call of Amida Buddha, okay? So it's not like, yes, we are begging Amida Buddha for salvation, but if you truly think about it, it is Amida Buddha who is calling us, yes? Because he truly understands, even more than we do, the dangers of not believing in him, okay? The dangers of not wanting to go to the Pure Land. So it is actually Amida Buddha who is calling us even stronger than we can even imagine, yes? For us to go to the Pure Land, okay? So this is very different, like different from Christianity or other religions in which we are actually begging for a very aloof God. It's like, oh yes, if you beg strong enough, I will take care of you. You have to prove that you love me or something like this. It's not like this. Yes, Amida Buddha is like trying to look any kind of crack in our mind, any kind of you know, semblance of sincerity, so that he can penetrate our hearts in any way. You see. So it's very important for us to understand that it is Amida Buddha who is calling us like a loving mother. Yes, imagine a loving mother whose child is missing in a very dangerous jungle. Yes, how would you think that this mother would behave? She would be like crying out loud, oh, my child, my sweet child, who will go all over the world looking for the child. We are trapped in the jungles of samsara, yes, and Amida Buddha is like our mother, you see? And Amida Buddha is calling us by our name, yes, calling us sweet names, Okay, he's calling us, oh, Josho, Kosho, Piku, Joshin, Seijun, all of that. He's calling us by our name. Yes, and we say Nam Amida Buddha. So it's very beautiful. It's very different from other religions in which you have to humiliate yourself, or trying to punish yourself. It's not like this. Amida Buddha is calling us like a loving mother. You see, and actually the fact that we can answer to this call is because our mother is calling us. Yes. So Amida Buddha is saying, come to my land. I will save you from samsara. And you say, thank you, Amida Buddha. Nam Amida Buddha. You see? So it's like actually an invitation that we are gracefully, that Amida Buddha is gracefully offering to us, and we are only accepting. You see? So this is a beautiful analogy of the mother calling the child. Joshi Sensei explained it in this way. He says, a mother calls her child and the child answers immediately. The answer of the child is due to the mother's call, not to the power of the child. Yes. In the same way, faith is not our own creation, but the natural answer to the call of Amida Buddha, the compassionate parent of all beings, Oya-sama, no? The mother and father of us. No? Because of Amida, we entrust in Amida and Seiden Nembutsu. Only because the mother always sends unconditional love to her child, the child can trust and rely on her. Yes. Why does a baby trust a good mother? Yes, because the mother is constantly giving a milk to the baby, is constantly taking care of the baby, constantly hugging the baby, yes, constantly protecting the baby. So the baby actually feels this immense love by his mother. It is unconditional love. So naturally, the baby loves his mother, okay? So actually, you could say that the true reason or the true cause of the baby's love is actually the mother, yes? Okay? So it's very important for us to see it in this other way, yes? So the mother is the one who actually feeds and makes the child grow. It is Amida Buddha that is actually giving us faith. It is not our own power, okay? So the power of the love of a mother makes the baby grow, not his own power. In the same way, due to Amida's love for us and his beneficial influence in our life, we will one day come to entrust to him and say his name. Okay, so what we're actually doing in Jodo Shinshu is not to force people to make themselves believe in Amida Buddha. This is impossible. Yes, if it weren't for Amida Buddha, we would never be able to believe in Amida Buddha and have true faith. It is because of Amida Buddha's influence that we can actually understand the message of the primal vow. And this makes a lot of sense. The same way that when we open a window, it is the sun that comes through the window. Yes, we are not creators of faith. We are not the creators of Nembutsu. We are not the creators of the Pure Land. Yes, it is because of Amida Buddha that we go to Amida Buddha. Yes, it is because of his power and his compassion and his wisdom that we go to him. Okay. Now I will give a more detailed explanation, because this was the general explanation provided in the Fascicule 7, which is very beautiful and very useful. You see, but if we want to quote more passages of Shinran, then we can go to the book The Meaning and Faith of Nembutsu in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. Let me check my notes. Yes, you should go to page 145 in the Meaning of Faith and Nembutsu to analyze this very important topic. Yes. And actually, if you try to make sense of it, it is not so, it's not difficult. It's actually very simple, this topic. But many Jodo Shinshu Buddhists somehow, and it also happened to me, when I noticed this. Okay, so how is it so that my faith is not the creation of my mind? Yes, because I was under the influence of Christianity, or then the influence of other religions in which the faith is something that you make yourself. And you can speak of this person's great faith, and my faith is little. Yes. So it was very difficult for me to understand that actually faith is the same. And when you have faith in Amida Buddha, it is the same faith of Shinran, the same faith of Honen. Yes. The same faith of Yosho Sensei is the same faith of me, the same faith of you. It's actually the same rays of light that comes from the same source, which is Amida Buddha. Yes. But if you truly understand these analogies, you will truly realize that actually it is Amida Buddha that is calling us. Yes, and actually this faith comes from Amida Buddha himself. You see? Actually, I will quote Master Renyo. Master Renyo has a beautiful poem here in page 145 of The Meaning of Faith and Nembutsu. He says, since Amida makes you trust him and responds to your trusting heart does not arise from within yourself. Okay? Okay, this is a very simple way to summarize this teaching. Since Amida Buddha makes you trust him and responds to your trusting heart does not arise from within yourself. It is Amida Buddha who is the cause of our birth in the Pure Land, is the cause of our Shinjin. Yes? Shinjin is the cause of our birth in the Pure Land. So how can Shinjin be the result of a samsaric mind? It makes no sense. Yes? Okay? A samsaric mind cannot produce anything that is enlightened. Yes, we are constantly bewildered by the three poisons. So if Shinjin is the cause of our birth in the Pure Land, Shinjin has to come from an enlightened mind. Yes, Shinjin comes from Amida Buddha himself. Yes, and it is because of that Shinjin that comes from Amida that we can say that Shinjin is diamond-like, that Shinjin is indestructible. Yes, it comes from the Vajra mind of Amida Buddha himself, from his diamond mind. Okay, so the reason why in an Nembutsu follower's heart coexist both faith in the primal vow and his blind passions and illusions is that this faith does not belong to him. Okay, this explains why we are assured of birth in the Pure Land and we continue to behave like stupid guys in samsara. All of us are like this. We are constantly with the same attachments. We behave like another stupid guy in samsara. Yes. However, the difference is that we know that as soon as we die, we will go to the Pure Land and we will become Buddhas there. How can these two very different worlds coexist? They coexist is because one is ourselves, yes, our samsaric selves, and other is Amida Buddha's influence over us. Okay, this is why these two attitudes coexist on the same heart. Is because one part of this comes from Amida Buddha, and it is this influence of Amida Buddha that is truly transcendental, and it doesn't depend on our power. Okay. So there is another analogy. There are many analogies to explain this. Yes, it is said that a poisonous Eranda forest grow only Eranda trees, and not the famous Chandana trees with their fine fragrance. So Eranda is a poisonous tree, you see, and Chandana trees are very fine and beautiful trees with a very great fragrance, fine fragrance. Okay, so in this analogy, so it is a miracle if a Chandana tree grows in an Eranda forest. Similarly, it is a miracle if faith in Amida Buddha flourishes in people's hearts. Okay, so how can we, who are so deluded that we are even liable to fall into the lower realms, how can we actually have faith in Amida Buddha, and how can we call this faith diamond-like? You see, this is why many Jodo Shinshu Buddhists feel puzzled at the beginning. Yes, because they don't know how can they have such firm faith in Amida Buddha if they are such wretched and evil beings. And the answer is simple. It's because this faith does not come from us. It comes from Amida Buddha. Yes. So the answer is that this phenomenon is practically impossible, and that faith in Amida Buddha is not the product of our minds, but what Amida Buddha plants in us. Yes. This is why we live in an Eranda forest. Yes. And this Eranda forest is the forest of blind passions. Yes. In samsara, we only have samsaric thoughts, samsaric intentions. We're constantly trapped in anger, constantly trapped in delusion. Yes, this is our situation here. So how can a Chandana tree, yes, which is a fine tree, blossom in a forest that doesn't have the conditions for that to grow? It is because Amida Buddha is the one that is planting this external influence in us, which is Shinjin. This is why Shinjin, or the entrusting heart, is called rootless faith, for it has no roots in the human mind, but in Amida's power and compassion. So what is the root of Shinjin? Yes, the root of Shinjin is Amida Buddha. Yes, we only see the blossoming of that Shinjin in our hearts, but this has the nutrients come from Amida Buddha. So you could call it like an inverted tree, yes, coming from the Pure Land of the West. Yes, so these nutrients come from Amida Buddha himself. They cannot come from us. It is impossible that it comes from us. Yes, if the faith in Amida Buddha came from our minds, I'm pretty sure in my case that I would be in another religion. Yes, by now I would be, I don't know, practicing voodoo or black magic, or who knows. Yes, this is how crazy I am, you know. But I continue to have faith in Amida Buddha is because of the power of Amida Buddha and his positive influence in my life. Positive in the sense that he continues to keep me in this path of the Pure Land, in this path of Jodo Shinshu. It's because of Amida Buddha. Yes, I know this for my own sake. You know, I've also seen Uncle Yoshin speak this in his YouTube channel, and I've also seen this testimony from many other Jodo Shinshu brothers and sisters that tell me that they have been very erratic in their spiritual lives. But somehow, by the power of Amida Buddha, they stay on this path for life until the day, I mean, for many years. Yes, and they have very stable attitude for Amida Buddha. Okay, so everything comes from Amida and manifests like an echo in our minds and on our lips, just like a child who faithfully answers his mother's calling. A mother calls her child and the child answers immediately. The answer of the child is due to the mother's call and not to the power of the child. This is actually an extract of the fascicle 7 that we have just seen. You know, it is because of the power of Amida Buddha that we can say the Nembutsu. Okay, so Shinjin and Nembutsu are the echo manifested in us of the powerful call of Amida Buddha. Yes, and what is the call of Amida Buddha? His primal vow. Yes, his light. The light of Amida Buddha and his call is the primal vow, his message. If you entrust yourself to Amida Buddha, if you say his name, if you wish to be born in the Pure Land, then you will be born there and you will attain enlightenment. Very simple message. Yes, this is the message of Amida Buddha that is calling. No? Like a mother calling a lost child in the forest. We are trapped in this forest of samsara, and Amida Buddha is calling us from afar, yes, from outside of samsara. Okay? So I don't know if maybe Joshua Sensei wants to maybe complement this and continue reading some of other passages. But I think that this topic should be very clearly explained because, as Joshua Sensei explained, many people somehow they find it very mysterious. Like this is like a Zen koan. Oh, Shinjin doesn't come from me. So sometimes they get confused, and some of the heretics they try to play smart, and they say that actually Shinjin is like enlightenment, many things like this.
This is why we use at Amidaji various images and parables, you know, in order to understand this. Like we use the image or parable with the light of the sun and the open window. Like we use the example of a mother and a child. Okay, the love of the child comes from mother's influence on him, because the mother loves the child who feels the mother, the child entrusts to his mother. Also, I have another image, uh, you know, so Shinjin, I also say in another article, Shinjin or simple faith in Amida is like when you do not know how to fix your car and you trust John, who is a mechanic, to fix it for you. In our case, you cannot attain Buddhahood by yourself, and you trust Amida Buddha to help you attain it by taking you to his Pure Land. Your trust in John arises because you heard that John is very skilled mechanic and you saw him doing other repairs. So in truth, John is the one who makes you trust him. See? John the mechanic is the one who makes you trust him in his skills to fix your car. It's the same with us. We heard from Amida Buddha, we heard from Shakyamuni Buddha about Amida Buddha. We read the sutras, and this is why we entrust to Amida Buddha. As Shinran Shonin says, Shinjin arises in us through the working of Amida Buddha, Shakyamuni, and all Buddhas. So all Buddhas actually work to help us reach a point when we entrust to Amida Buddha. See? Also, let's say you have a best friend. To have faith in your best friend is in fact answering to his love and to the fact that he's constantly there for you. So in fact, your trust in him is his gift. You trust your friend because of him, because of your friend, because how he treats you. See? So it's nothing complicated here. Also, the power of a dictator makes all people tremble. The power of motherly love or friendly love makes one entrust to one's mother or friend. The power of Amida's infinite compassion makes or influences those open to him to have faith in him. See, you can go to the links that I will put in the description and you can read in more detail. But this is the essence of the very important doctrine that faith comes from Amida. In just the same way a child trusts to his mother, or you trust your friend, or you trust John the mechanic. Yes. That's Amidaji's teaching style, trying to make things as simple as possible. So you see, Kosho Sensei is doing a very good job of explaining these topics of examination for people who want to become ordained. So you guys have to be able to explain the teaching in the same way, like Kosho.